inline. Okay, please remember inline we have three types: L shape, U shape, and the rectangular shape. All these will be having the work areas on the conveyors or the belt conveyors, and the work areas which on this the work part will be located, and these will be firmly holding the works on the conveyors, and the processing will be done at each and every specified locations of the workstations, and the completed part will be taken out. From the left end, the raw material or semi-finished product will be entering, and from the right end, the finished part will be taken out. So this is totally automated. And in some other cases, wherein very limited space is available, limited space is available, the work part to be transferred. And please remember other one important point I wanted to tell you, where the work part are heavy in structure, just like the engines, and very heavy base part on this small parts to be arranged. That time the inline processing workstations will be very much useful. And in some other cases, very minute sub parts will be there. The part to be transferred or assembled will be very smaller. Just like you can take the example of the computer assembly, or a pen assembly, or a small around not more than 10 to 15 kg sub part on these small parts to be assembled. So that time rotary configurations will be playing vital role. And you can see that as the name indicates, it will be rotary in structure. In a circular fashion, this is the table. Through the center, the table will be indexed table, it is called. Simply it will not be rotating. And for example, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 workstations are there. The circular table will be indexed into 8. Once it starts to rotate, it will be rotating from one position to other position. This particular angle will be taken as a reference. It is a rotary. Okay. Thus, it is the sub part will be entering from this end, and the part will be moved. The part is not moving. This is rotating. The rotating table will be moving from one station to the other station, and the work carrier already on this work carrier. You can see this. This is the empty work carrier, and this is the carrier which is fixed with the material or the raw product. It will be entering here, and it doesn't require to have only a clockwise rotation. It may be clockwise rotation or counterclockwise rotation. Both the rotations may not be possible. Okay, one side direction rotation. Okay, while it is rotating the segmentally, what happens at each and every locations, at each and every processing automation workstations, the assembly will be done or processing will be done based on the assembly station or processing station or chemical station. And this is only important thing is that it is dial indexing table. The dial indexing table will be synchronized with the part which is entering, and the starting point there may be a manual loading or it is automated loading. The completed part may be taken manually or automated. Here again there may be up under or down under or the work holding devices which will be holding the completed or the raw material to be entered. So this is the rotary configuration. And what are the advantages of going for this rotary configuration? The rotary configurations will be required very less space as compared to the inline. You can see that a simple rotating indexing table, a circular table around which the periphery, the workstations will be arranged. The workstations will be arranged so that it will be compact in nature, and the workspace required will be very lesser. Okay, one thing. And what are the limitations? The limitations are there. The very low weight, small work part can be processed in this. Heavy parts cannot be processed in this rotary mechanisms. This is one of this one. And here I have given the explanation. In a rotary configuration, the work part are attached to the fixtures. Fixture means these are the fixtures are the work holding devices around the periphery of this circular table. and the table is indexed to present the parts to workstation for processing. That means the indexed table, only the segmentally it is rotated, is not rotating continuously. Once until the work part is completing at a particular location. Here, for example, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The rotation of the indexing table, the time interval which is ideal will be based on the workstation which is consuming maximum work cycle. For example, in this particular workstation, for example, at this particular workstation, it consumes 1 minute of cycling time, and this particular one the workstation required the 2 minutes of processing time. So that means the work table will be idle for 2 minutes. Whichever the workstation consuming maximum amount of time, that will be taken as a reference for the indexing table rotation. That will be ideal time. While it is rotating by 360 by 8. You can see that there are 8 workstations, including the loading station and unloading station. There are 8 workstations. So definitely the 45 degree rotation, you can see that 360 degree divided by 45, it indicates 8 stations. That means once the indexing table is rotated, it will be advanced by 45 degree. Okay, on this, sometimes they have asked for a simple problem. Those problems also, 1 or 2 problems I'll present you in the later classes. Okay, the work table is often referred to as a dial, and the equipment is called dial indexing machine. So at the base, what happens? There will be a bearing system, and shaft is extended. The shaft will be having the gearing mechanisms, and the indexed table will be rotated by means of a DC indexing motor. The DC indexing motor, once a pulse is given, it will be rotating by 45 degree and it will stop. That is what. It will not be continuously rotating by 360 degree. By the comparison with the inline and segment and inline configuration, the rotary indexing systems are commonly limited to a smaller work part and fewer workstations. So wherein the workstations are maximum, because arranging the workstations around the periphery of the table will be very, very limited. Instead of going for the 8, I want to go for the 20. What happens? The indexing table requirement will be very larger in shape. Larger diameter shape is required because it requires to arrange the workstation around the periphery of the table. So it is limited for a fewer workstations with a smaller work part to be transferred or processed, and cannot dial accommodate buffer storage capacity. It is very, very important thing. In the inline, either in the inline or some other cases, the buffer storage unit were possible to accommodate. But here in this case, since the space is very, very limited, the buffer storage unit may not be possible to accommodate. On the positive side, the rotary systems usually involves a lesser expensive price, okay, of equipment and typically requires less floor space. So in this only you can able to explain. Okay, so please remember how to write the dialing systems. The rotary configuration systems often used in the industries wherein the industries have very lesser space, working space, and limited number of workstations are required, and we are going to process on very small components. So that time these rotary configuration systems will be used, and these working stations will be arranged around the periphery of the dial indexing table. This dial indexing table will be rotated by means of a DC synchronized stepper motor. DC synchronized stepper motor, which will be advancing by whatever it is required. We can make the arrangement. Suppose I want to rotate it by 45 degree, I want to rotate it by 30 degree, I want to rotate it by 90 degree. All these arrangements can be done by on the dial indexing table. Okay, its advantages are it can process at very high rate, the workspace requirement will be very less, the maintenance will be very less, and limitations are it can be accommodated only for the smaller components, and the buffer storage unit cannot be possible to accommodate. The third one, the more wherever even the small components are there, the workstations are maximum, that time it may not be possible to have the rotary indexing table systems. This is what the features of the rotary indexing tables. Now let me come to work part transfer mechanisms. Please remember the transfer mechanisms. I was talking about the linear transfer systems. Now here I am talking about the work part transfer mechanisms. The work part transfer mechanisms are two types. One is linear transport systems, inline and segmental inline systems. Already these we have discussed. The linear transfer systems will be belt conveyors and the roller conveyors, the chain conveyors, all these will be coming under the linear transport systems. On these linear conveyors, to hold the work, the fixtures will be used. The fixtures are specifically designed for these work parts only, and based on the shape of the work part, because while it is transferring from one station to other station, it should not fall down and it should not reorient the position. So that is what the fixtures are, the work part holding devices on the conveyors will be used. And another one, the rotary indexing mechanism for the dial indexing mechanism, this already I have discussed. Linear transfer systems. The linear transfer systems may be steel belt conveyors or canvas conveyors or chain conveyors. So in its very simplest form, there will be a frame, and there may be number of workstations in between, and this endless chain conveyor or steel belt conveyors will be rotating, and here the indexing mechanism, that means the DC indexing motor will be fixed here, and this indexing, its linear will be converted to the rotary will be converted to linear. For example, I want to move the work from, I want to rotate it by, for example, you say it is a 1 meter. I want to rotate, I want to linearly move the work for a meter distance. For a meter distance, what would be the segmental of rotation of this indexing mechanism? That will be calculated, that will be kept as a constant. One, for example, if for its n rotation, y displacement will happen. So that y displacement will be kept for the entire belt length. Okay, and here there will be a tension wheel. The tension wheels will be used for the conveyors, because while the conveyors will be used for many days, what happens? It will be losing its tension. So already you know that the slagging and the sagging and the tight and loose. Due to this, what happens? The belt will lose its tension, and simply the indexing mechanism will be rotating. The conveyor will not move because of lesser tension. So to create a tension, there will be tension wheels will be provided. The tension wheel, these will be tightening and loosening the belts. Okay, and it is a only one direction rotation. Okay, only one direction rotation. While it is rotating, there may be workstations here, 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 here. So at each location, the work will be performed and the work will be moving. Okay. Another one very important thing, please remember, this is a walking beam mechanisms. Walking beam mechanism, very important one. Please make a note. With a neat sketch, explain the working of walking beam transfer system. Walking beam transfer system. This walking beam transfer system, the beam, it is not walking. There is a mechanism which will be provided. In some other cases wherein I don't want to have a conveyor system. For example, the work part to be hold is very bigger one and heavy in structure, that may not be possible to accommodate on the conveyors. That time this walking beam mechanism will be used. And please look here, this walking beam mechanism will be having a beam. This is a fixed beam, a transfer beam will be there, and this is a fixed beam, the transfer beam work part. And here you can see these are the work part, and this is this particular walking beam and fixed beam. This walking beam First, what it does, it will lift. It will be lifted, and once it is lifted, it will be moved forward. It will be moved forward